Okay, well that brings us to the end of the fixed agenda. Now we've got time for a little bit of open discussion. If there's anyone anywhere, I already see someone running for a microphone that wants to bring something up that we haven't yet had the opportunity to discuss or plan for the agenda. Dmitry, you look very eager to grab the microphone.
Спасибо. Спасибо, Серж. Я просто вчера был тормознут, и поэтому нужно было начинать с этого, на самом деле, митинг. Это было интересно. Сейчас можете прочитать и в Фейсбуке, потому что, собственно говоря, события, то есть отсутствие бюджета в Соединенных Штатах и федеральное правительство в отпуске. Я вдруг понял, что сегодня, открыв Фейсбук, что все мои знакомые из NTA, то есть, соответственно...
That's the National Agency on Telecommunication and Informatization of the U.S., and they're on extracurricular holiday, and the site is also closed. And there's an interesting question, and really nobody governs the internet. The root DNS zone. That's what I mean. So within the next 2 weeks, nobody will. So it's interesting. Does it take any governance to manage the root zone of DNS? And many are interested in this. And if somebody hears me, like sysadmins and top-level admins, could you please send a query, send a request to them and see whether it will come through within the next 2 weeks? And I really doubt it a lot. And it's understood when the last time we had such a phrasing in back in 1996, nobody thought about it, and all of that was inside, and there was no public application. So I assume that somebody else can comment on that, and somebody else knows or can check on that. That's a very interesting question to us all. So what sort of governance do we need? I can send the query, but the private companies, they need to elaborate on it. No, I just mean about the changes, the procedure. Yes, not all of them know the procedure. So administrators and top-level domains send the changes to IAN, and I can on contract as the function of IAN, and then those changes go to after they are looked at IAN, they go to NTA, and TA. That's Vernita, at least I know that Ashley Heidemann is on holiday, so Vernita is on holiday too. There are no other options, and you may look them up on Facebook. And Vernita Harris ideally sends a confirmation, and then the formed changes are directed for reassigned to form the master zone that is distributed over to all us, meaning the root operators supporting root servers. Federal employees are not allowed to read their emails during their holiday, otherwise they will break a law of 100 years ago. And maybe that's very interesting. Maybe it's interesting that we're going to communicate via Facebook and ask them to voluntarily get back to their work, but most likely they won't be able. And that's an interesting question. I don't think that the U.S. law stipulates the function of maintaining the DNS root as an important thing. That's a good question. Actually, first of all, we got a question about the responsibility of the government that made public announcements of guarantee. But on the other hand, do we need the governance at all? To make the .gov domain workable, they need to support it. The scheme that you can place an alternative routes to DNS, and I doubt very much they rely very much on DNS root zone, and that also pertains to DNS6, and they use a slightly different trick. And the reality, the Department of Defense of the states do not rely, because you understand, because on IGF last year several times we used the term IAN DNS, GSMA DNS, and Department of Defense DNS. And nobody questions that within this particular terminology, because that's clear, that's close information about how this piece is approached. The military may write on all the addresses and all the servers, like just to say that .gov and .mil is our domains on all the military resources. As far as I know, that's really happening in reality. Just GSMA. GSMA route is not officially acknowledged, but they provide all the mobile operators with additional alternative route service. But this is not the point. The point is that while being placed here, we are finding ourselves in a situation like one of the critical world resources that's a cornerstone, and nobody is governed. And tomorrow I will not be present at the local IGF forum, but if you're interested, you can discuss. Kolesnikov will be there.
Okay, thank you very much, Dmitry. Anyone else feel like grabbing the microphone and making a statement or asking a question to the room? Again, something we may not have covered over the last couple of days. No? Okay. Well, have a think about it. We do have a few more minutes, and I'm going to make a couple of very small presentations which may be of interest to you. Another thing, and we did bring it up at the last ENOG meeting, is these meetings are great, and every time we hold them, we do see a lot of new faces, and we do get a lot of people coming along from the last meeting, as I'll show you in some of these slides. But we're also looking, both in the coordination committee and the program committee, at other ways that we can keep the momentum going of this community that we're now developing and is becoming quite strong, quite large. As I already stated, and in fact I just sent you an email as attendees of the ENOG to please subscribe to the discussion list, and maybe that's a way that we can get keep that momentum going. But there may be some other ways that some of you think we could also look into. You might have some other ideas or some certain topics that you'd like to see us bring up. Again, I implore you to grab the microphone and suggest some of those topics. Have a few minutes to think about it. If you need even more time than that, we do have a feedback form on our website, and you can add some comments there or direct your comments to the PC itself. So what have I done here? Been pressing away on this. Are you doing that, Anthony? Okay, we did put a couple of slides together. Maybe I'll ask Anthony to click away because this thing seems to have lost its power. This is a look at the last ENOG meetings since Moscow ENOG 1. We actually ended up with 367 people that turned up to the meeting, which is a fantastic turnout for us. Looking at the other meetings, it's probably the third highest of the three ENOGs, so that's a fantastic participation rate. Who are you? Well, I guess it's no surprise that most of you are from commercial entities, but there is a mix of different sectors, as you can see here in the graph. Of course, the IRRs are represented, associations, academic networks, and so on. So it does remain a mix with a strong technical community coming to these meetings. I guess it's no surprise that we're in the Ukraine and the Ukrainians turned out in force. That's a fantastic message that you're sending us. It means that it is worth us moving the ENOG meeting around, not just keeping it in one place, but taking it to Ukraine. When we come here, when we came to Odessa, when we came here to Kiev, the Ukrainians showed up, and that's fantastic. That's what we want to see. So thank you for doing that. The very last slide I've got, this presentation is killing me, but was this one. I just wanted to have a bit of a look at again, the Russian and Ukrainian being the two biggest supporters of the ENOG meetings. It's just not going to work. It's not cooperating at all. Or Anthony's playing a trick on me here, one or the other. What we have noticed and what I did want to look at is just it is great to see that a lot of Russians are still making the effort to come down here. I think that's fantastic. This is the most amount of Ukrainians that we have had in the room. So again, it shows that it was worthwhile coming down to Ukraine. So again, some fantastic results there, and I'm very pleased with the amount of you that have shown up. So that was just a bit of a look at some of the statistics. Anthony, I'm going to ask you to move on to the next one, and that's bringing it to a little bit of a close, I mentioned it yesterday morning in my introduction. The RIPE NCC is always pleased to put in quite a lot of effort and resources into helping the ENOG community grow. But of course, when we move around to different places, we need some local help, and that comes in the form of a host. This time around, it was the Ukrainian Internet Association, and if I could ask a few of those people, Tatiana, if she's still here, Tatiana's still around, or did she run off? No? Okay. Valeria, is she still around? They've all run off on me. What about Alex, Vladimir? Is anyone here? Anyone from the Ukrainian Internet Association? Can you come up here for one moment? The others are running around getting things organized. That's why they're not here at the moment, hard at work. As I said, they've been absolutely fantastic. It is a lot of effort. It may not seem like it, but there's a lot of logistics. And our staff, especially Gagana, who's hiding around there, who gets a lot of the work going, has to bombard the host with emails, connectivity, lunches, dinners, and everything. So fantastic effort. So please give them a round of applause for their help. Thank you very much.
Я хотел бы тоже сказать несколько слов о благодарности компании RIPE NCC за сотрудничество. Было работать очень приятно, и мы надеемся, что это не последний наш совместный проект.
Okay, thank you. Anthony, I'm going to give it a go. There she goes. It does take other resources than just the human ones to get this thing going. For the dinners and the connectivity and the socials and the drinks and the social we're going to have after I get off. These all cost money, and we pay for these partly in any case in the form of sponsors. You can see them here next to me. You can see them up on the screen. Please take note of them because they're the ones that are also supporting this community. So thank you very much to all of our sponsors. I guess, at least for me, and as I can see that I think 101% of you in this room actually have laptops. I use that number because most of you have more than one device with you. You find the connectivity very important. I believe that NetAssist had something like a 10 gig circuit. They brought that to the hotel, and I've at least enjoyed great connectivity. So thank you very much to NetAssist for that. Okay, what's next? The program itself. Again, this is behind-the-scenes work that a lot of you don't see. I do see it because my mailbox gets full with all the mails that the program committee sends around. They really are quite passionate about producing a program for all of you that is going to be of interest to the widest group of people possible. It's a difficult task. They're all volunteers. A lot of them do a lot of the work even outside of working hours, weekends, and so on. These are the names. There's quite a few of them. So what I'm going to ask is if whoever from the PC in the room, if anyone's left from the PC in this room, could you please come on stage, and we'd just like to give you a little gift. So Andre, I believe you're on the PC still as well. Anyone else from the PC in the room? Come on, don't be shy. You've done a lot of work. Yep, so they're coming up here. Gagana, and I don't know where they've gone now. Everyone's running off. Anyway, please give them a round of applause. This is the PC that's left over. Do take note of their faces. You may know some of them by name. You may have their email addresses. You can contact them if you've got any suggestions. They're also going to be staying around for the social event. So please come and approach them, thank them, tell them about your impressions of the program and what you thought of the content and what you might like to see the next time. Or perhaps, in fact, you may actually have a presentation for the next meeting, or you may know someone who'd be perfect. And finally, you may actually like to join this lovely crowd Of course, we're always looking for more volunteers for the program committee. It is a little bit of work, and we do expect you to put in a few of your own hours. So if you'd like to join, we do have gifts for you. I don't know where my lovely assistants have run off to. They're still. Oh, here they are. There. So thank you very much, guys. So as I said, they will be around, so please do take the time to thank them and give me your thoughts on the program. So we'll let that move along while they're getting... There are a few other people on that list that you may know, so thanks, Anthony. As I said, there is a feedback form online. If you go to the ENOG6 website, you'll see that. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, Tatiana's here as well. She'll get another present, so we'll leave them up there. Again, as I said, these meetings are for you. Your feedback is crucial for us to develop ENOGs for the future. So there is a link there where you can give some feedback about a few points, or you can just send us as much text as you want about some ideas or feedback you might have. I won't keep you guys standing here forever. Thank you again for all your help, and looking forward to your help for the next ENOG. Thank you very much. Yep. There you go, guys. So speaking of the next ENOG, it is already set. We do have to plan these meetings quite a way in advance. I'm sure quite a few of you do travel around, or even in your local areas, realize there's a lot of meetings, especially around autumn and May, autumn and spring. It's very, very difficult for us to find the right date to organise these meetings. We do our best not to clash with any other industry-related meetings. Most of the time we do quite well, but we do plan a long way in advance. We get these contracts with the hotels and the hosts and the connectivity and so on, and then all of a sudden someone else decides to plan a meeting on that same day, and they clash with us. So sometimes it's unavoidable, especially because there are so many meetings around that time of year. That may be the case with this one as well. I heard recently that there may be a few other big meetings going on in either in Kiev or in the Ukraine on these dates. So again, I have to apologise if that is the case, but we do our best to make sure there isn't a clash. But in any case, we're moving forward with the ENOG7 meeting. That's going to be on the 26th, 27th of May in Moscow, I believe at the Marriott Hotel where we've been before. If you can't make it, of course, at every meeting we improve the remote participation that we have, so you can watch the webcast either live or you can watch the recordings afterwards. Just as we'll be doing with this meeting, we do record all the presentations, and we will put them online so that you can share them with your friends or take a look at them again if there was some particular information that you'd like to have a closer look at. So I hope to see most of you there at ENOG7. Almost done. Of course, I thought I'd give a plug for the next RIPE meeting. RIPE 67 is going to be taking place in Athens between the 14th and 18th of October, just in a couple of weeks' time. I appreciate that, again, not all of you will be able to make it down there. We do have remote facilities for that meeting as well. We have good webcast. You can join in, you can ask questions live during any of the sessions. So I do recommend that you go to the website, have a look at all the information there, and you can join remotely if you can't make that meeting physically. I think that's about it. I don't have anything else to say. I can offer you all a last chance to grab the microphone if there is anything that's come to your mind. I don't see anyone running to the microphone. I'm assuming, based on my moderating skills, that we'd be finishing exactly on time. I think we are, so I'd like to invite you all for some drinks. I believe it's going to be in the Europeevsky Hall. That's the same hall as where we had lunch today. For those of you who didn't have lunch today, then just follow the others that did. That's going to be starting right now, actually, and for a couple of hours. So I'm sure I'll see you all there. So thank you very much, and this meeting is closed.